You're watching.
Subscribe.
Brought to you by Cineworld Cinemas, the best place to watch a movie. Hello and welcome to ScreenStalker. I'm Oli Davis. This is Chopper Pete. Please press the thumbs up button and give us a subscribe. And we are proud to announce today our partnership with Cineworld begins, where every week we're going to be focusing in on a movie release because we really want to get people to the cinema. So why not start that off right now? Get your tickets for It Chapter 2 by clicking the link in the video description below for Cineworld, and we'll talk about that film right now. We've got a spoiler-free review to start off with.
Then we've got my live reactions to watching It Chapter 1, which isn't great because I don't like horror.
And then Pete and Laurie went to the It Chapter 2 live experience in London. And please, in the comments, let us know what you thought of It Chapter 2. I want to start a film debate. We haven't really done a film club style thing on the channel yet.
I feel like that's one of your life goals, isn't it, really?
We'll all meet up at the cinema as well. So one of the interesting things about this, I was told, It Chapter 2, the correct stylization of this title, all in caps. So I'm not going to read it that way when I talk about It Chapter 2, but just for, to read it, it should be said, It Chapter 2! Okay, so I saw the film on Monday, and the first hour of that was incredible for me. It was like the pacing was perfect. The casting is otherworldly good. All seamless. For me, though, Bill Hader. Bill Hader as the grown-up version of Finn Wolfhard is just, not only does he look like an older version, that's such a hard casting trick to do. All of these actors have the mannerisms of those former characters down pat. And that's not even talking about Skarsgård as Pennywise, who is just now the definitive performance of this character. He's so scary, and I want to see him more. I want to see him in other films. I wish he had his own cinematic universe. But then the plot sort of takes a turn where everyone has to splinter off, and then that's the next hour of the movie. And it does become it's not repetitive of the first film when they do a similar thing, because it adds its own layer to it, but it is sort of that symptom of sequelitis. So you're just going to invite comparisons to those amazing scare scenes initially. And because of that, the scares aren't as scary as they could be. That's the middle hour, and then the final hour is just sort of this big fight sequence that I would say has more in common with a superhero action blockbuster than a horror movie. But because it's not as good as Chapter 1, it feels less good than it actually is, because you've got those lofty comparisons to make. And it is also definitely one of those movies where you have to see the first one. And because of that, we made you watch Chapter 1 last week, didn't we?
Yes, you did.
And how many horror films have you seen in your life?
0. Well, that's 1 now.
Why have you not seen many horror films?
Because I don't like horror.
Yeah.
I don't like being scared. It's not a nice feeling for me.
Well, should we see how Pete got on watching It Chapter 1?
All right.
We all float down here, Petey. So, Pete, we're watching it because you're scared of it.
Here we go. All right. Jesus. Don't take the boat, you idiot. What the That's grim.
Kids suck.
Kids really suck. Why are you wasting so much paper? Quality meats. Rack of lamb, $10 in 1980, whatever it is. That's weird. That's even weirder. I don't like that. Why would you go anywhere near that?
Whoa!
Why is the painting gone? He's on a black background. Someone's got to jump out at him. Oh, God. That's so creepy. Oh. I don't like that. I do need to pee. Oh, not the balloons! Why is it smoking? What is that? Oh, well, that was a moving shadow. Oh, my God. They've got no head. Oh! Well, that's less than ideal.
The sewers.
Don't go in the sewers. No! No! Not what? No! Oh! Jesus! Oh, not the balloon! Jeez. What the f***?
Who's that?
Ah! Why is he on a wall?
Oh, I don't like
hate this.
Do you ever want to go back to an age where everyone just wore Y-fronts?
He's there. Jesus.
Oh, no.
No, there's a pyramid of balloons. Oh, Jesus. My head. Okay. Don't like it. Oh, hell. Mullet-wearing asshole. Have you got the mullet there?
I do.
Because I do need to pee again. I have broken the seal, as they say. Jesus Christ. Oh, no. It's clowns! F off, Pennywise. Don't go by yourself. Rule number 1, Bill. Come on.
Just killed a clown in the sewer. I'm talking about herpes.
I'm not f***ing watching the second one. I didn't like that, but it is a very well-made movie. I thought the acting was absolutely phenomenal, especially from Bill Skarsgård. I'm like massive fan of his now. I'm just like, I need to see even more things. It was like what you were saying earlier.
Like It Chapter 2.
Like It Chapter 2, except not that, because I'm not going to watch it.
Well, you might not see Chapter 2, Pete, but we did send you on a It Chapter 2 experience with Laurie.
You did, which is possibly worse than seeing the movie.
Let's see what happened.
I got 2 tickets to the fun house.
Laurie, I don't like it. Laurie, I don't like it. I don't like it, Laurie. I don't like it.
Well, you've got to go first, so...
I don't want it.
If you become a little bit overcome at any time by the darkness, or if you think you're going to have a little bit of a heart seizure or anything, or even if you need to go to the toilet, just say the word Firefly.
Jesus. I don't like this. This platform's shaking, by the way. You can see something on the other side of this door, and I don't like it. Ready? Oh, okay. Okay. Christ. Me. I don't like it. It's the creepy house. We have to actually go in the house. I hate this. Yeah, oh God.
Get on in here, guys. Come on. Yeah, man. That's going very
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Head straight forward, okay? Cool. Go.
Oh, super fun!
Is it dead?
Hell. Laurie, I hate this. Oh, Jesus. Me.
Hi there.
Oh, hello.
For the sewer tour, is that right? It gets pretty hot this time of year. You feel like you could just about die.
Christ.
Oh, God. Just stick close together and stick close to me.
Christ. Me! Yep, perfect. Just what I wanted. That.
How was that?
It was very scary, yeah. I mean, it was very immersive, lots of great paid actors and stuff, but man, my heart rate is not going to go down for quite a while. Yeah, that was good in the worst way. Thanks, guys. Thanks for putting me through that, Laurie.
How are your trousers?
Slightly more brown than when they went in.
Okay, it's spoiler review territory now, so if you haven't seen the film and you don't want more details to be explained and dived into, then stop the show now, go and see it, Chapter 2 at Cineworld by clicking the link in the video description below to get your tickets, and then come back and watch the sort of deeper dive into the movie. Spoilers in 3, 2, Batman shows up.
Whoa!
I know, yeah.
Crazy crossover.
Sorry, one of the criticisms I've seen of it, Chapter 2, from looking at other reviews, is that it's not as scary as the first chapter. And I agree with that. And I think that is partly because of that it being an adult cast and you need to take a sort of different tact of the scare graphics. But also, they do a lot to explain Pennywise and Pennywise's origins. And part of the horror of Chapter 1 is that it is just there. And you're just going to have to deal with it. And then when you don't explain the backstory of these things, you can kind of fill in the blanks for yourself, where you're like, it is kind of a manifestation of childhood anxiety or childhood trauma that you've suffered during that time. But then this movie, and it's in the book as well. It's Stephen King is an excellent writer, and he just creates these fantastic, iconic worlds. But really, he does ramble and go off the rails a lot. For me, anyway, and I know that's a common criticism as well, because what's scarier? Pennywise as just this unexplained force of evil who feeds on terror, or an entity that was brought to Earth by an asteroid several millions of years ago that has 3 orbs of light in him that control him, and an Indian ceremony where you all have to find your own Horcrux, essentially, an artifact from your childhood past. You put those together, you burn them, and then you can extinguish the 3 light orbs in his mouth.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
I will admit, when I watched It Chapter 1, one of the questions that I really wanted to answer was like, what is it? Where did it come from? So I could see some people enjoying kind of knowing the backstory of it.
However, the themes of like childhood trauma being dealt with as an adult is actually really well explored. Unfortunately, it's in the saggiest part of the movie, which is that middle hour where each person separates, and it is kind of just a retread of what happened in the first film. And there's also quite a few Easter eggs and some nice meta things that are in the book, but they enhance on them in the movie. Bill's character, played by James McAvoy, has grown up to be a writer, and he's now his book is being adapted into a film.
Okay.
And where's this film being made? Warner Brothers Studios. And everyone keeps saying to him, you can't write endings, like your endings are rubbish. Even his wife is like, you want to work on the ending a little bit more? And it's a recurring gag through the film. The studio want him to change the ending. Unfortunately, when you make those sorts of jokes, you want to have a really good ending for your film. But see all that for yourself. I mean, if you've just watched this spoiler full review and not watched the movie, I mean, that's awful.
It's a cardinal sin is what I'd call it.
But if you haven't seen the movie, and for some reason you've watched this spoiler full part, get your tickets by clicking the link in the video description below and get your ticket at Cineworld. See films in the cinema. It's so much better. And once you've gone and seen It Chapter 2, leave us your reviews in the comments down below, and we'll talk about the best ones in next Thursday's episode, where we'll be talking about a different film out that week. Thank you so much to Cineworld for partnering with us on ScreenStalker here. And of course, go and support cinemas and see films where they're meant to be seen. I've been Oli Davis. This has been Chopper Pete Quinnell. Click the videos that have just appeared on the desk to catch up with the latest ScreenStalker videos. Click the link in the video description as well to get your tickets. And remember, we're watching